And we are live on this. Ooh, my hair's a mess. Put the cap back on. We are live on this Tuesday morning, September, February, or more correctly, February 8 in the year of our Lord 2022. My brain is sort of working finally, but it doesn't seem to be connected properly. It is not September and it is not the 28th. It's February 8th. I'm still on the laptop today. I can't quite trust the internet connection, so the desktop computer will have to wait a while. There, here we go. Camera pointed at me and not outer space. Hi, Howard. Yes, I'm doing better. I'm trying to work the mouse without bumping the camera. Howard is in the chat. I have books to mail to Australia and Israel, and someone suggested I try United Parcel Service because our doesn't seem to be able to take mail across the oceans. I haven't asked them about mail to Israel, but I do know that they cannot take mail to Australia. Stuff happens. And some idiot in Washington, D.C. decided to cut their budget and force the post office to make a profit. They're supposed to be a public service. I think it was Ronald Reagan, President Reagan, who started the privatization of the post office. Hi, Philip. Philip Blair is here. I cannot guarantee that my connection will last. Last week it cut me off in mid-sentence and the connection never came back. Anyway, I will be mailing off books that people already won before mailing off books that people win going forward. Okay. Sorry about that. Wow, what a morning. So do not eat the green potatoes. I recently learned why we cut out the little green spots in our potatoes. Potatoes, I knew they were a member of the nightshade family. What I didn't know is that they make the same alkaloid that's found in deadly nightshade. Hi, Witta. We are talking about green potatoes. Little green spots in your potatoes make the same alkaloid as deadly nightshade. Hi, Oswald. You know why they call it deadly nightshade? This is Final Jeopardy. Do, 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 do. Why don't we eat the green spots in potatoes? Why do we call it deadly nightshade? Do, 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 do. Turns out it's deadly. It kills people and critters and so forth. Let's see. Philip Blair has been by President Reagan's childhood home in Illinois. Oh, he was not a Californian at all. He was an infiltrator. Became governor here, and we hated him, so we kicked him over to D.C. as president. Let's see. He never personally experienced living out in rural America, where I am. Privatization of the post office won't work out here. Yeah, I'm in a rural mountain community. They don't bring the mail to the house. So they're required to give everyone who lives here one free post office box per house. But you can wait in line for months before you get one. So many people are stuck with general delivery. They wait in line, go to the desk, and ask for their mail. I'm one of the fortunate few who got in relatively early. Anyway, deadly nightshade is deadly. It has alkaloids that'll kill you. And people have died from eating rotten potatoes. I don't imagine that one little green spot, if you happen to miss it when you're preparing your potato, probably won't kill you. It might make you ill. Vomiting and hallucinating and no fun at all. But there have been cases where, for example, people had a root cellar, down in the ground under the house, usually under the kitchen, and they had a lot of potatoes that went rotten. So when they went down into the root cellar, the fumes from the rotten potatoes killed them. And there have been cases where, probably by accident, but rotten potatoes were mixed in with the good ones and served with dinner as mashed potatoes. Uh, Not good. Let me grab a potato real quick. Uh, Good old Idaho russet. They're getting smaller and smaller. See, it's tiny. That's okay. Our grocery store is stocking primarily produce from local farms. It's really hard to keep the trucks moving when they fired anyone who didn't have a jab. We already had a shortage of truck drivers, and the ships from overseas are still lined up in the Pacific Ocean waiting to come into the harbor and unload. Oh, HP is here. Hi. Um, wow. Awesome possum. So don't eat the green potatoes. And I don't completely peel the potatoes, but I check. There's these little eyes, we call them, little eyes, little dips that have like a, well, this one actually is starting, probably can't see it, little tiny white dot in the center. That's a stem that's starting to sprout from it. So this potato is close to expiring. I take out the eyes because that's where the green spots form on a potato. I don't necessarily peel it all. I mean, the peel is awesome. Don't eat it raw, but if it's baked or otherwise cooked to a high enough temperature, and I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but you can look it up, then the peel is not toxic. However, the green spots, cooking does not affect them. You want to get rid of green spots. But the nice smooth rotting, and when they rot, they make these alkaloids. And when they grow all these sprouts, stems and leaves, because that's how they grow. Well, what I did with the last two potatoes that were going bad, I put them in the compost heap. They're ready to grow. Maybe they'll grow and make a bunch of new little potatoes. These are not seed potatoes, they're eating potatoes, but they'll still make some nice little potatoes when they grow, little ones. Those you can eat. HB doesn't like green tomatoes. Well, I've never actually tried fried green tomatoes, but I'd like to. Let's see. Witta says, I read once that tobacco is part of the nightshade family too. I think it is. I know that tomatoes are. Oh, Philip Blair lives in the #1 potato producing county in the United States, Grant County, Washington. Now, I like these Idaho potatoes. They're versatile. You can have them baked or mashed or turned into French fries. And if you have a soup that isn't thick enough, or a stew, and you want it thicker, add a tablespoon of mashed potatoes, or if you must, those dried potato flakes that come in a bag or a box. I've learned how to make hash browns. You have to grate the potato, so I risked my fingers and my life with. I don't have it handy, but you stick a guard onto the potato and then you hold this guard. I like my fingers. I want to keep them. Do I get those black and white striped potato bugs? Well, once in a great while. And up here, they're huge. They're as big as my. I keep forgetting the camera isn't up here anymore. It's over there. It's as big as my thumb. They can be mean. 20 years or more. Very stinky. It's probably the oil fill. Tomato worms were cool. Pick off the worms by hand, fill up a jar or a can with them, and toss them out. Know why Here we go. Okay, hang on. Connection wonky, but mostly up. Can you hear me now? Try refreshing the tab. Yeah, that figures. Well, hi, Cardinal Sin. Hi, Gil. I'm not on the desktop today because, as always, Verizon is giving me headaches. Hi, Andrew, or Mark Andrew. Hi, Mark. No, that's evil typos. Here we go. Yeah, Verizon is playing games with me again, and YouTube does too. We have freedom of speech as long as we don't offend any woke snowflakes. I think I owe Cardinal Sin a couple interviews. Anyway, I won an argument with Verizon. They apparently added a boost to my phone service during the 3-day outage. We had a 3-day service outage back in December. I had to, after two customer non-service representatives just gave me the runaround, I went to the FCC. So my complaint got escalated to someone with authority and brains, and they're refunding my $35 for a boost to my telephone, my cell phone. I have unlimited service on my phone. Why would I buy a boost? Well, this guy agreed with me. Okay. Let's see. So don't eat green potatoes, they're deadly. Do take out those little green spots that tend to be in the eyes, the little dippy things, look like dimples. Take those out. That's where the deadly alkaloid forms, and it can kill you. Don't eat rotten potatoes. Even if the skin is wrinkled but it seems okay inside, don't eat it. You'll be eating the same thing as deadly nightshade. Let me open a box here. I had to tape it shut to protect it from marauding cats. It kind of worked. Let's see. Oh, come on. Gimme. I got my author copies finally. And those of you who have not won a book before are eligible to win either my murder mystery, Murder Lies. I keep forgetting where the camera is. Murder Lies, a Lavinia Stout mystery. The detective lives in Twin Peaks with her cat. Or I finally got a copy of The Darkening of the Light. My, okay, what's the word? Woo-woo novel. It's kind of paranormal. What's the word? Surreal. Surrealist. Well, Oswald, what's the difference between deadly nightshade and and the varieties of vegetables known as nightshades? Well, tomatoes, potatoes, and I think tobacco, and there are others. You can Google it or Bing it. Oh, Oswald, you're thinking of resale value of signed books. Talk to you later. I'm glad you like the cookbook, and I'm planning a sequel. I'll probably just write Adventures for the Kitchen Challenge and combine it with the first cookbook. I'm getting better at cooking. Anyway, the other nightshades, like tomatoes and potatoes, they don't make much of the alkaloid except when they rot. And cooking doesn't get rid of that poison. Unlike the potato peel, some people will not eat potato peel. They say it's poisonous, and it is when it's raw. But whatever it is in the peel actually will cook out. And the best part of a baked potato, in my opinion, is the peel. And I leave a little bit of it on when I make French fries or hash browns. Well, my books are still on Amazon. They aren't that expensive. I've kept them all under $20 for the paperback. I think The Darkening of the Light has an even cheaper Kindle edition. I'll have to check on that. Anyway, eventually I'll pick a number. I want to make sure enough people have uh, come into the chat, because last week there was only one eligible listener. Let's see. Now what? Oh, yeah. A while back, I went on a brief rant about how the plural of lost the word. Those things, what they used to call galaxies before they knew about galaxies. The cloudy looking. My brain is playing mean games with me. Yes, Mark, I'm an author. Okay. I was married to Philip K. Dick, who wrote the books and stories, not the movies made from them. He wrote Blade Runner, Total Recall, Minority Report, Next, The Adjustment Bureau, Paycheck, and his novels and stories are really not much like the movies. And I write books. I've written some books about Phil. I was married to him for 5 years and then divorced from him, but good friends for 5 years. And we had a son together. So we kind of, were connected by that child. And right now, I'm doing well on this, assuming the internet holds up. I will give away your choice of Murder Lies or The Darkening of the Light. And what you do is email me your mailing address because I'm kind of lost on YouTube. I have trouble finding messages. Last week V won, but V has not sent me the info to mail the book, and I forgot who V is. But V was the only eligible listener. Oh, we Oswald, we were better friends after this we split up. He had to treat me with more respect, and I had to be kinder to him. You see, I'm a recovering pack rat. I'm decluttering. I hope to sell some stuff on eBay and like that, but I figure giving away a book once a week is a good investment. Even if I don't profit financially, I get more readers, more people interested in my books and in reading in general. This webcam is driving me nuts. I'm going to have to work out some kind of clip to hold it where I want it so it won't keep traveling. It's a wanderer. Yeah, I have to scoot off by 9 o'clock. Got people coming over. Yeah, I'm mostly a book pack rat, but I have other stuff that I've decided it isn't that precious. So if it's worth at least $10, I'll put it on eBay. If not, I'll have a huge yard sale. Nothing over $1. Anyway, yeah, I have a little cookbook, cooking for the kitchen challenged, by the kitchen challenged. And I'm going to write adventures in cooking because I'm learning more and doing better. Yesterday, I made a pot roast, but I didn't cook it long enough, so I'll have to put it back in the oven. It's in a Dutch oven, which is a big, heavy, round pot with handles that look like ears. And you put it in the oven for hours and hours, and I got impatient to eat some of it. So it's in the fridge now, and I'll put it back in the oven for a couple hours. Where to get the L in daylight, Howard? I can't even get it. I've tried. I think there are about 50 copies in existence. Well, I'm not a hoarder. I don't have newspapers stacked up to the ceiling. You know, and I've actually given away a bunch of newspapers that someone else was collecting, but mostly I use them to pack fragile things so they don't break. And I have maybe 2 or 3 inches a stack of newspapers. That isn't hoarding, but it is kind of pack ratting. Oswald, the difference between cluttering pack rats and hoarders is like the difference between agnosticism and atheism. Hoarders don't have walking paths. I have walking paths, and some are quite wide. I don't really need more space to walk. I need sturdy furniture next to the path so when I get dizzy, I can grab the furniture and hold on. I do get dizzy. Yeah, pack rat isn't underlined in red. It's a real word. I wonder if there's an actual rat called pack rat. Uh, I don't dare try Googling it with my wonky internet connection today. But yeah, I have clutter. And my kitchen, there's nothing I can do about it. It's very narrow. It's about 8 feet by 6 feet. It's tiny. And no cupboards, drawers, or shelves, although I'm working on putting up shelves and making cupboards. There is one drawer. It's on a piece of furniture that I bought at a thrift shop and shoved under the counter. Anyway, yeah, once I get the shelves put up and the pots and pans out of the way, I can turn this other end of the counter into a sort of a pantry. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, way over there, oops, let's see, other way, that brown thing, that brown skinny thing is the end of a cupboard that serves as a pantry for non perishable things like, oh, crackers, cake mix, breakfast cereal, noodles, rice, beans. You have pack rats, Philip. They're big, bigger than squirrels. Wow. So there is a pack rat, a real pack rat. Wow. Yeah, rats can get pretty darn big, almost as big as your average cat. The ones that go on ships at sea can be as big as your cat. Anyway, I got to think of a number. So if you haven't won a book yet, you got to come up with a number. Let's make it between 20 and 30. And think about it and type your number in the chat room. And let's get this done before Verizon decides I don't deserve internet today. Okay. Nebula? Yeah, nebulas. I had a minor rant about nebulas. The plural is nebulae with an AE on the end, not nebulae with a letter I. And then I got to thinking, well, we say algae. By that reasoning, if you go back to the Latin, algae, ALGAE, should be algae, but we call it algae. So that tells me that the English language makes no sense. And I made a career out of teaching English for 12 years. Thing is, I say nebulas, not nebulae, nebulas, because I'm an American and I talk the way I want. The weather is cold but dry. We really need a little rain and snow, but we won't get it this week. Anyway, so it's nebulae, algae, which is a plural. Algae is a colony of little green plant thingies. But they used to think Andromeda was a nebula, a cloudy, massive, hazy maybe some stars, but mostly dust until the 1920s. I think it was 1920. Hubble got some good pictures of Andromeda and realized that it was a galaxy, a spiral galaxy. And back in the day, when they showed you pictures of the Milky Way in the textbooks at school, they were really showing you Andromeda. They figured they looked close enough. I think we have now some actual pictures of the Milky Way made by putting together data. We can't really go outside the galaxy and take a picture. The two Voyager spacecraft only recently left the solar system, and they were launched in 1979 and 1980, I think. Well, maybe in the 70s, but whatever. And nobody's guessing a number for a free book. Your choice of Murder She Lies or The Darkening of the Light. That's what we call an oxymoron. Light and darkness are opposites, but it's surreal. Okay, if nobody wants a book, fine with me. But if you do, pick a number between 20 and 30 and type it in the chat room. Let's see, it is now 8:34 and I need to be out of here by 9. I used to tell my students, you can break the rules of English grammar. Once you know the rules, but you have to have a purpose, a reason for breaking the rules. And while cramming and studying to, teach English, I found that prepositions are for ending sentences with. Some English teacher, named Richard Busby, I think, just decided that we should not stick prepositions like of, from, with on the end of a sentence, but there's no reason not to. And in German, which is actually a related language, they do it all the time. And nobody fusses about it. Oh, Howard won. Witta won. Oh, she's on page 96 of The Darkening of the Light. But Mark Andrew Rice hasn't won a book. And if Cardinal Sin is still here, he hasn't won. Come on, where's my mouse? Let me see. Participants. Howard, Oswald, and Witta. Everyone else left. That's a horror. There's nobody around who's eligible. They all left. Well, darn it. Oh, and by the way, next time someone calls me some term like racist or tells me I'm entitled because I'm white, I'm going to say, why do you assume that I'm white? I'm mixed race. I'm black. My grandpa was passing for white and his father couldn't pass. Do I have books on Goodreads? Do they sell books there or just link to Amazon? Huh. Okay. Whatever. I sent off my DNA and I'm waiting to hear whether I'm actually Cherokee or whether that was a code word for black in the 1960s. Ah, they just review them. Thank you, Rita. Goodreads reviews books. And it's usually real people really reading your book and really reviewing it. I'm on Goodreads, but I'm not active on it. My health is better, but I'm not well. I'm just not quite in so much pain. And I've been able to eat some real food. I was living on soda crackers, and once a week I could fix some real food, but I had trouble eating it. I would eat a little and just be really full when I knew I wasn't full, but I had that sensation. I've got wonderful reviews. Awesome. On most of my books, huh? Well, there's one book I'm not terribly proud of. I rushed it out to get it published before 2012 when the world was supposed to come to an end. And it was just to establish that I knew way ahead of time that the world was not coming to an end on 12/21/2012. It just felt like it because we were trying to climb out of that horrible financial crash. Let's see, Oswald is Nazi, Jewish, and Atlantic Islander. Wow, awesome. Probably one of those islands off the coast of Spain, or maybe off Africa. German heritage, huh? Not actual Nazi. Well, some of my ancestors are called English in our genealogy, but they were descendants of the Norman invaders who came to England with William the Conqueror. So they were really Scandinavian. I have a lot of Scottish, and I was so disappointed to learn that Scots and Irish are so similar because the Irish colonized Scotland back in the Dark Ages. So a lot of Scots are really Irish genetically. What type of smokes do I like? Marlboro Red, man, huh? Hi, Mark, you're back. Um, well, I'm using Camel filters. The filter is cotton, no fiberglass or chemical crap in it. The tobacco is a blend of Turkish and American tobacco. It's less harmful than other brands. The paper does not have those chemicals that make it burn faster. But if I could afford it, I would smoke Dunhill. They're imported from England and cost an arm and a leg. Okay, I've got to. I don't know why YouTube's thought you couldn't say camel non filters. Oh, Ireland, of course. Ireland's an island in the Atlantic, Oswald. So you're an Atlantic Islander from Ireland. That makes sense. I have tried Dunhill. Once in a great while, maybe 2 or 3 years, I spring for one pack of Dunhills. But no, I I think they're like $30 now for one pack. I just can't go there. And of course, I'm in California, which is almost as expensive as New York when it comes to cigarettes. They're evil, they're bad for you. Well, let me tell you, I can't take pain pills, and I am in pain, but the pain pills will damage my kidneys, and I'm having kidney problems. They're not failing yet, they're just swollen and painful. Well, at least for me, smoking a cigarette reduces the pain. And the smoke does tend to kill viruses. I don't know, I don't think that's a good reason for smoking. Well, we can find Dunhills at little mom and pop tobacco shops, tobacconists, and I think you might be able to order them online as long as you can prove you're old enough to smoke. When I was a kid, you could smoke at 18. Now it's 21. I still remember the day I got carded for a bottle of wine at the grocery store. I was with my son. So he was 16. That means I was 35. And they asked for my ID. And I said, "Thank you." I did get carded for cigarettes once. And I didn't have my ID on me. But they had recently been targeted by the undercover people who go in looking young and try to buy cigarettes. So they were really, really leery about selling to anyone. Let's see. No online ordering of cigarettes? Wow. I'm going to see if I can buy one of those machines where you slip the paper tube onto the metal thing and turn the crank. Because I can't roll cigarettes to save my life. But I do know that if you just buy some good Canadian tobacco, you're much better off. You see, Canada and Europe come to Virginia and buy all the best tobacco, and the American companies buy the crud that's left, the cheapest tobacco. Camel Filters does have some Turkish tobacco in it, which is nice. It might be a Turkish variety grown in Virginia. I don't know. Tora, don't shred my books, please. Tora, don't sleep on my books, please. That box is not for you. My cat wants in the box of books. All right, let's get the tape. Knock the cat out of the box of books. There you go. Now you can shred the tape. She always does. Tora, you want to say hi to your adoring fans? Come here. Oh, there she is. Say hi. She hates this. So afterward, she gets treats. So she won't hate me too much. Whew! Fly away hair is flying into my face and sticking. I can get the drawer open. Yes. Party mix. Chicken flavor. Oh, it's mixed grill. Oh, whatever. I don't think there's any difference between these treats, but Tora does. Okay, that works. Oh, wow. Mark grew up making tobacco. raising tobacco. His grandparents would save some to make their own blends to smoke or chew. Well, Mark, you might be the only one here who's eligible to win a free book. If you want one. My kitty cat is really special. I was done with having pets, although I really want a dog just to scare intruders. Something that will bark. What's out there? I think someone parked in my driveway. I don't care. Oh, yeah, it's almost 9. They're here to do some stuff. Lions Club. Anyway, well, Mark, if you send me your shipping address by email, since I'm not good at finding YouTube messages, it's Kitty's Cats. I'm putting in spaces so it won't come up as a link. At, the at sign, gmail.com. Just send me your shipping address and tell me which book you want, the murder mystery or the surrealist novel about a guy who gets attacked by alien slugs and goes into a coma, and his wife who has a brain implant put in and it gets infected and she goes into a coma. So you never know which one of them is really in a coma or whether it's both of them having adventures together while lying in hospital beds, unconscious. And they go through Dante's Divine Comedy and Mozart's Magic Flute along the way. Yep, the lions are here. That's why I have to get off the internet. Yeah, everybody wants the darkening of the light. It was almost like channeling Phil when I wrote it. But he never had he had strong female characters, but they were never the protagonist, the hero, the main character. In my book, it's mainly the woman for obvious reasons. Yep, the cats. I don't have a watchdog. I have 2 watch cats. I can't show you Sweetie. She's shy. Won't even let me touch her. See ya, Howard. I'm going soon anyway. Oh no, what? I'm being attacked by lions. It's the Lions Club. Lions International, the world's largest service organization. I'm a member. See, they've had their storage shed here in my driveway for some years. Kitties with an S. Kitties Cats 777 at Gmail. Okay. And I'll get the book to Australia by the United Parcel Service, I think. And I'll probably use them for the book that's going way overseas in the other direction. All right, you guys, let's see. Have a great day and thank you for listening. There we go. Oops. It's great, not Goethe. Whoops. Yeah, Kiwanis Elks. The Elks drink too much. I don't know much about Kiwanis, and I'm not in the Masons, even though my grandparents were. Yeah, FedEx is too expensive, and the post office just doesn't go to Australia right now. They can't afford to send a ship or an airplane over there. I've had problems with UPS, but oh well. They come to my house with my mail, with my packages. And I do like the guy who drives the truck. Someone gave me a whole bunch of little individually wrapped candies at Christmas. I mean, huge tray. So I gave it to the UPS driver, and he was very thankful. Okay, gotta go. There's people here. Signing off, and thank you all. And Mark, send me that email, and I'll get a book to you. Probably by post office. Probably. Okay. And V, if you're listening, I don't have your shipping information. Australia is a conspiracy to convince us that the world is round. The world is round. Flat earthers think it's round and flat. The world is a globe, for crying out loud, and we did go to the moon. And COVID is a dangerous epidemic virus. But don't ask your politician, ask your doctor. Get a real expert. Okay, guys. Catch you later. Bye.